Oh,
Good morning.
good
Good
morning.
morning.
All right. Can everyone hear me? Is everything connected? Everything's working? All right. All right. Okay. Yes. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Yeah. First thing. What is it? First thing in the morning. So, Nick, you have a for sale by owner out there needing legal advice. What's going to happen with him? He just called a minute ago.
Oh my gosh, late breaking news, I guess is what he's throwing at us. Well, I got a call from a gentleman like 4 minutes ago that was standing on his front porch. He had sold his house for sale by owner, and the person claimed that the house had closed and has locked him out of his own home. And I said, "Do you have an agent?" Or I prior to that, I said, "Do you have an agent?" No, it's all for sale by owner. And do you guys have attorneys that just sit in your office? And no, we don't. And you really should have used an agent, but we can
Yeah.
probably connect you with a police officer. So that just happened 4 minutes ago.
Yeah. So I think I'd see if there's any opportunity to represent him. And if there's no opportunity to represent him, and it seems awfully late in the process for a realtor to step in, there's nothing we can do. We're not attorneys, so we cannot tell him anything, really, other than this wouldn't be happening if he'd hired a realtor in the first place.
Uh-huh.
So uh yeah, refer him to an attorney. No realtor should help him, because we'd have to well, we can't. We just can't. Anybody have a different take?
Oh, that's
Okay.
that's exactly it.
I
Yes.
think
So
before he
so
relists,
sorry.
he's got to get to some sort of conclusion with this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
He may
All
very
right.
well have legally sold his home and doesn't realize it, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're arguing over the possession date is what they're doing, and we
Yes,
can't solve that.
right.
Okay. Welcome to April 23, 2025. Let's talk real estate. There's a media post. It's just bragging. Maybe it's for recruiting more than anything else. But just remember, we're the big dog or one of the big dogs. Very big dogs, 130,000 agents in 79 countries.
Uh,
So we have resources. So there's not a question we can't answer. There's not a tool we can't get you. We have everything and we have resources. And boy, with a company that size, you have networking resources. I would, do what I do and what Sean Adolby does. Plan to vacation in Las Vegas and Orlando every year because that's where the networking is done. And that's where you will meet people. You will meet the great agents that are doing a lot of business and referring people to Oregon and Washington. And
they
it's a
are
It
lot of fun.
happens.
inspirational.
And
Happens
where?
all the time.
Yeah, it does. It does. And we've seen it happen. We just saw it happen last month, quite a bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've got two referrals since I've been to Disneyland.
nice.
That tiki hut really did its job.
Yeah, the business is done in the Tiki Hut. Yeah. Just a little insider tip for everybody. And there's a Tiki Hut in Orlando too. So there's
That's right.
two networking opportunities. Okay, so think about that if you just want to remind people that we are a very well established, well resourced company. And then today, my message really is things that make a great realtor and things that will get you moving forward is the ability to do things regardless of the situation, the ability to really to make things happen when they have to, no matter what. And one of my phrases I say is there's always a path, whatever the problem. And we deal with problems in real estate every day. And we just talked about a problem with a for sale by owner. There's always a path out. And sometimes the path is an easy steps, and sometimes it's a difficult thing to do, but it's really clear if you sit and analyze it. So in this message, we said, the best example I can give somebody for the ability to do things regardless is to get up in the morning at a particular time, to have your morning routine, whatever it is, to get to the office at 8:30 or 9 or whatever works for you, and whatever your office is, your home office. Should be a little bit earlier if you're going to get ahead of the game. But if you're there at 8:30 and you have a list that came in to you of owners, for sale by owners, and expireds, if that's how you want to get started in your day, and a lot of people do, you have your database of past clients, of centers of influence, and then you find every reason you can think of to keep you from picking up the phone and making those phone calls. And we've all been there. We've all done the planning. I'm going to get up and I'm going to see what's available in for sale by owners and FSBOs and expireds. And you're going to get up and you're going to get a list. Maybe it's 2, maybe it's 10, and you're gonna put off going to work and doing those things. So the ability to do things regardless of the situation, because everybody understands there's rejection in life. And that's probably what you're avoiding. You don't want to start your day by having a for sale by owner tell you to get lost. But if you can learn to do things regardless of the situation, learning to do things that you're not comfortable with and learn to do things you don't like is what makes the big difference in your long-term productivity. So it's just, face it head on. Another great one is the ability to self-analyze. So imagine this, you have a schedule for the day, and at the end of the day, you probably want to critique your schedule. Did you do any of the things you had on the schedule? That'd be the first criteria. Did I do anything? Did you do 50%? Did you do 75%? So check it again. And if you find that there's something, I like this, if you find there's something that you've written down as a goal or a schedule that you're avoiding every day, take it off your schedule. Consider taking it off so that you don't feel that negativity that goes with self-analyzation. So often what you're looking for is wins. So what you've also done is face the fact that you're not going to do that thing. And that's the other thing. It's one thing to have a seminar on goals and to come up with all these lofty goals. I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock and feed the cows before I do anything else. But if you realize you're not going to do it, and you would realize that after a short period of time, then change your goals and change your expectations and set goals for things that you can accomplish, that you will accomplish. This one's great. The ability to understand how others feel. So at some point, everybody has to deal with their ego because there's situations in life where we're called upon to take action, to lead, to speak up, to give an opinion. And often the ego gets in the way of that. We're not thinking about the other person. So the ability to understand how others feel is really the elimination of the ego in communication, conversations, and actions that you're involved in. So here's the main essence of that. If you're good, you don't have to tell them. So if you're always telling them how good you are, you're insecure. You have a chip on your shoulder. or you're just letting your ego get in the way for another reason. If you're good, you don't have to tell them, and they will recognize that you're good by the way you're behaving. If you're proficient at the work you do, you don't have to say it. I'm proficient at the work I do. People will recognize your proficiency. So do by example, not by just telling them. There are times to tell them what you do. Absolutely. There are times to remind them that you're the top agent in this neighborhood or whatever it is. But don't let your ego get in the way. And then finally, the ability to remain consistent. We always talk about the same things here. We always talk about mindset, skills, activities, and action, along with your prospecting, your presenting, and your closing. We're talking about all the skills. There's only so many things that a good speaker or coach or a good teacher or trainer or a good professor can advocate. There's only so much in the program, and they usually have to advocate what they believe in the most. So we believe that anybody can become a better salesperson than they are right now, if you want to. But it takes certain fundamentals to make that happen. And that's what we want to bring you, so that if you want to improve, and if it's time for you to improve because you're at that place, then we want to be there for you. So let's take advantage of the continuing new year, good real estate market, treat your business like a business. And let's have a look at our business. We've got listings. I'm going to refresh this to see if anything happened with Pine Street, Oregon. Okay, so this is, I see it's listed by Keller Williams, so that's a transaction. We have that under contract.
We were buyer side.
So, Kuhn, what's happening?
Yeah, a lot of activity going on in Oregon. We have new listings by Deborah Roth, one in Coos Bay. So congrats to Deborah on getting that on the market.
Yes, congratulations.
And we have her going under contract in Bandon. So she's working really hard at the coast. We have a couple scheduled closings, and I'll announce those as they come in next week.
Good.
Portland, nothing changed, but I've been in contact with some agents, and they're writing offers and going to listing appointments. So I'll announce those as they come on. So keep up the good work.
That's Mindy's listing right there.
There's Mindy's listing. I hope nobody buys it because I'm saving up for that. So we'll just see how if it's still there. That's a beauty. That's a beauty. Shauna, how are things in your world?
Pretty busy.
Yeah.
We have a closing probably going to happen, a couple closings next week. We'll announce those when they finally close. Just got clear to close on one of them, and went into contract with three this over the last few days, over the weekend. I even showed a house in Centralia on Sunday, Easter Sunday in the evening. So, but we are in contract on three of those over the weekend. So that's good. And a couple new listings coming very shortly, and I'll announce those when they go live. But just some condos. I'm doing one in the golf community and one on the river. So excited to get those. I signed paperwork yesterday on the golf community. So that's all that we have right now. But we're expecting things are going to get busier.
Very good. Do they the golfing community? Are there any golfing rights or membership included in home ownership?
You have to join the HOA. The condo actually has two HOAs. It has its own HOA for the buildings, and then it has the golfing HOA, which is a must. You have to join it. It's a yearly fee of like $600 and some dollars, but that gives you access to the golf course, and it also gives you. They have a pool and a community center and all that fun stuff.
Good. Good. Okay.
Nice.
All right. Yes, very good activity. Thank you.
It looks like Augie, she says, I'm going to
Oh, yes.
read what's happening in Idaho. Augie wrote up an accepted offer, and Augie and Lee have deals closing on Friday. Yay.
Oh, excellent. All right, stay tuned for that. And I see they have a few listings here. So let's see what closes. Kung, could you update me on and us on the MLS to Dash in it?
Yeah, I think we got a notification this morning saying that they've successfully completed our listings direct onboarding. So it might take 24 hours for all your MLS listings to appear in the dashboard.
Nice.
Yeah, it says any new listings from your preferred MLSs will be automatically processed by Listings Direct within 2 to 4 hours of being added to the MLS.
Oh my goodness.
Good. So that includes buyer transactions like this one. Is that why this is here?
I believe so. I believe so. It takes anything with our agents and updates them.
Okay. That'd be good to see. Although it's interesting, this says my company's active listings, and that's not what this is. I
Right.
wonder if this is an error in data entry.
I'll double check on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's definitely
there-
going to be some things that we'll have to check on
There will
as
be
we go.
something.
Yeah.
Well, it is an
Yeah.
error of some kind because it says active listings and it's not. Oh,
I think at one point I had marked sold to show just as filler, so we probably could go in and remove that.
oh. Well, yeah, remove it.
Yeah. And it would show anything that any transaction we were involved in. So we could probably get the sold out of there.
Okay.
Congrats either way. Woo!
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Cool. What's coming up? You got a lunch and learn.
Yeah, we have actually it's going to be breakfast and learn tomorrow.
That's right.
We have Chicago Title coming. We're doing a Zoom class called Playing Defense Against Deal Killers. I think it'll be a good class. Even though it's a Zoom class, we are still hosting agents at the Portland office. So come join us, bring your laptops. We'll have bagels, coffee, juice, and probably a fruit platter. So hope you all can make it. Register. You can register by clicking that link in the email that was sent out. I'll resend it out again today so that everyone gets a reminder. But hope to see everyone here tomorrow at the Portland office at 10 a.m.
I'll be there. Kat's coming with me.
Nice.
That's right.
Nice. This is exciting.
That's right. And do you have anything scheduled, Shauna?
I do. I have a lunch and learn on May 9th. We're going to be reviewing some RMLS tools again with RMLS, and Chicago Title will be hosting. And one of my really good friends is now a sales rep in Clark County. She's always been in Portland previously, but Stacy Delgarno is now a sales rep over in Clark County. So I'm super excited about that. So I'm hoping she'll attend that with us. And then also June 20th and 21st in Longview, we're having we're sponsoring the Art and Wine Festival. So that'll be a lot of fun. And no, I'm sorry, art and music. Well, there's a beer garden too. So we'll be hosting that, and we got balloons yesterday, so we'll be handing out balloons, and everybody is welcome. And hope to see people. I'm going on Saturday. John and Nick are going on Friday, I think, and so that'll be really a lot of fun. If anybody wants to participate, hand out business cards, and talk to people, it'll be a good opportunity.
Hey.
Nice.
Is that on Commerce? That
We're going to be right in the middle of it. So
okay.
Nice.
And you got 200 balloons?
I did.
My understanding is they've run out of helium in the past couple of years.
So, yeah, I've talked to a place yesterday and they're going to rent us the helium tank, and you can get them for like up to 50 balloons or something like that, but we'll have to get one that's bigger, or either that or get two or something, because
Okay.
yeah, we'll get it's right there in Portland. Yeah, a lot of party cities have closed. I don't know if you guys saw that, but there's yeah, there's none in the area. I used to get my balloons here in Vancouver. I thought, well, that's where I'll get the helium tank, but nope, they're gone. So I found a place in Portland that's been there for a very long time. I can't remember what it's called, but I'll uh I'll go grab that maybe, and have you guys take it with you when you go on Friday.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Great. Great. All right. All right. We're looking forward to that. All right. How's the market? All right. The changes in the market, the yields on a 10-year Treasury note have held relatively steady. That's on the 10-year note, which is kind of the main indicator of what interest rates are likely to be. The Federal Reserve sets the yield on a 10-year Treasury, but lenders choose any interest rate they feel like lending money at. And the Freddie Mac, which is what we use here, showed the rate on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage shot up. It's up to 6.83, and that's up from 6.62. So that's 22 points. A point is a 100th. So that's a big increase relatively, an increase of 0.21 over the previous. So the average rate for the fixed year also increased by the same amount, and it is 6.03. So that's the reality today, 6.83, and we will keep an eye on that. So if it goes down, that's good news that we can pass along, and you can pass along the fact that it is 6.83 today.
Nice.
Yes, it is what it is. So the affordability index, that's something that we track quarterly, and we're hoping that will come down, and it is hovering at 89 in there. It is under 100, and so we'll have some champagne when it gets up to 100 or more. It's 89 today, so no champagne. That's a Diet Coke day when it's down there. The absorption rate, that's what kind of market we're in, and we are in a seller's market, 3 months of inventory. If we were to stop all sales today and try to clean out the warehouse, we have 3 months to do that. It would take 3 months. And that means the market conditions favor sellers. Yep. So, this is a very interesting article. Let's have Koen, you want to share your screen?
Yes.
Let me get that.
Hold that
Hey.
up. Okay, I believe this is the right one. There we go. Tracking unemployment insurance claims in times of change. Let's see what this article has to say. The current economic situation is rapidly changing and impacting Americans' job situation. During times of economic change, two key indicators to monitor are the employment situation, which shows whether the labor market is continuing to add jobs, and the unemployment insurance claims, which provide insight into the recent layoff trends. Specifically, initial unemployment insurance claims refer to the new job losses claims filed by U.S. workers seeking unemployment compensation. The first indicator shows that employment is growing. In March 2025, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, total employment grew by 228,000, higher than the average monthly gain, and the unemployment rate changed very little, from 4.1% to 4.2%. The second indicator shows that in the week ending April 12th, the number of initial unemployment insurance claims has increased by a little over 3,000, or 1.5% from the previous week, according to the U.S. Department of Labor. Unlike the jobs data, which is considered a lagging indicator, as it reflects changes in employment after economic shift occurs. Initial unemployment claims are considered a leading indicator, as the number of claims can provide early signs of changes in the economic cycle. Initial claims data provide state-level estimates on a weekly basis, providing details on the changes that take place week by week. Only 24 states and the District of Columbia reported a decrease in initial claims for the week that ended on April 12th. Tennessee, Wisconsin, and Virginia had the highest declines in unemployment claims, decreasing by 47.8, 27.4, and 24.1% respectively. In contrast, Kentucky, Missouri, and Oklahoma reported the largest increase in new unemployment claims for the same week, increasing by 187.3, 68, and 48.6% respectively. Overall, more states reported an increase than a decline in the number of unemployment claims in the week of April 5th through the 12th. So let's see how Oregon did when it came to change in unemployment insurance claims. Well, we can click in Oregon. It looks like Oregon had a decrease in 22.4% of unemployment insurance claims, which is good. Washington State had a decrease of 2.6%, and Idaho, had a slight increase of 1.5% of unemployment insurance claims. Notably, initial claims decreased in states near the nation's capital between April 5th and April 12th. Claims in Virginia decreased by 24.1%, Maryland 8.7%, and District of Columbia by 6.9%, despite federal government layoffs. In Virginia, the 4-week moving average decreased by 80 compared to the previous week's average. In Maryland, it decreased by 56, and in the District of Columbia, it decreased by 78. So even with news of the government layoffs, unemployment claims in those states decreased. Over the last 2 decades, unemployment insurance data followed economic turmoil closely. On March 28, 2009, during the Great Recession, initial insurance claims reached a peak of 659,000 claims. And on April 18, 2020, during the COVID lockdown, claims reached a peak of a little over almost 5.3 million nationwide. It's a lot. Between April 5th and April 12th, claims decreased by 2,200 from 223,000 to 220,000. So we might not yet see the impact of mass layoffs in the federal government. I can see those coming soon with everything that's happening in the federal government. The National Association of Realtors will closely monitor the claims data monthly for the state and nation levels. As you can see from this chart, that big increase was during COVID. A lot of people got laid off. And in 2009, you can see there's a slight increase as well from that recession we had. But things have been pretty level the past couple years since COVID. Yeah, good information. It's a good indicator of what the economy's like. If we keep track of the unemployment insurance claims. So let's see what the future brings, and we'll report those as they come in.
Well, good data that it's a strong economy.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon.
Yeah, with a decrease.
Yeah.
Nice.
One of the blue states on that chart.
Mm-hmm.
So good, thank you. And something when you to fully understand unemployment figures, you have to realize that there is a number of people who are not really looking for a job, and so you have to kind of understand what kind of statistics you're looking at. But I have heard that the 4% unemployment is effectually zero because those people are not in the market. So every statistic you have to understand, does it include those people or not? Okay. Let's look at these, and remember these are shareable graphics that you should be sharing, I think. with your sphere of influence so that they know you're in business. Because they will forget, believe it or not, no matter how much they love you, they will forget that you're a realtor and use the next realtor that walks by the street. So don't let that happen to you. They don't mean to do it. It's a collective amnesia that the public has about their favorite realtor. So you want to tell them, if you're in the Portland Metro, drag this to your desktop, drag it into an email, and tell them the week of 11th through the 17th. New listings were 532, and that's down a little bit, but it was so far up that I think that's normal as we're heading into the spring and really getting into the season. Days on the market went up again, which I like, 66 days on the market. Time for people to look at, gives people time to look at houses. And the prices, we've been seeing a difference of $100,000 in the Portland Metro with large numbers. So the median sale price, 531, and the average sale price, 629,700. And I hope everybody understands the difference. I'm not going to explain it now between median and average because we use that so often. That is something you should be able to explain to the public when they ask. If you were to send this chart, some people would ask you, what does that mean? And if you can give them just a brief explanation, it's tempting to call on somebody, but that's okay, of what those two things mean. All right, Clark County, Washington, Vancouver. New listings down 136, is down 15%. Up 64 days, quite a bit, 64 days on the market, and that's what we want to see. Time to look at houses. And again, a big spread between the median sale price of $536,200 and an average sale price of $600,800. But nice prices if you've been looking at this for any period of time. These are high prices. These used to be, oh my God. Well, what you used to get for 600,000.
It used to be a big difference between Portland and Vancouver, but not so much.
Right.
No.
They built some nice houses lately.
Right. Prices
Okay,
are up.
Polk and Marion County, that's the Salem area. New listings are up 80 to 80 new listings in this week. That's up 25%. Days on the market down a big chunk, down to 50, which is still a reasonable amount. And a little more affordable in this region, the median sale price $355 and the average sale price $437.5. And of course, Coos County in Coos Bay and North Bend down at the coast. 27 new listings, which is up a little bit. 161 days on the market, which is too much. That can come down. And median sales price, $326.5 and an average of $351.5. So a little more affordable there if you are fortunate enough to be able to live there or own property there. All right, so get that information out there. It does no good sitting on this server when it could be presented to our client base.
I forgot to mention earlier, one of my listings called me up yesterday and asked what they should drop their price to sell their house. And so they've dropped their price 100,000.
Did you recommend?
Yep.
And you had the statistics to back it up?
Yeah, I had to go in and search it. It's what's really weird is that the numbers were good where they were and my comps were, but they need to sell it, so they have to drop it. So that house is now listed 5 acres, horse property with a horse barn, 6 stalls, is now $640,000.
$640,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, congratulations on that. That's quite a price reduction.
It is.
As you get into more complex properties, the estimate of the price becomes less and less certain. So
it's a hard one. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just that I think those other houses that are comping higher are just nicer, and so we have to take that into consideration.
Right. Right. Okay. Let's hope that works quickly.
Yes.
All right. Century 21 University, here's the latest offerings on what I think are some of their most important programs. The Accelerate four-week course, three sessions a week of 1 hour. And they have one coming up on Monday, May 5th, starting, and June 2nd on that. The Virtual Go List, which is a deep dive into your listing presentation. Tuesday, May 6th is the starting day for that. And the 21-day challenge, they're constantly running those, and they will announce the next session on that. Okay. Today, Shauna and I would like to review what I believe is our most important offering in our education, the 5-point listing presentation. And I think we both agree that as we've been teaching this program for now almost 5 years, that was the game changer for us. This was the one that we wish we had known when we started in our careers.
Yes.
And yeah, and that this is the one that is, if you could study one thing out of what we offer, it would be the 5-point listing presentation, and to develop your own way of presenting that. So let's have a look at it. Shauna,
Yes.
go ahead and start.
All right. Well, number one, we're going to pre-qualify 100% of the people before you go out. 100%. Because one, it determines if they are serious or not.
Yeah.
And two, it gives you their concerns and objections ahead of time so that when you go out there, you can address them. And it demonstrates your professionalism, and it gives you information to build rapport. So when you're talking to them and pre-qualifying them, you're taking notes, and you'll keep that. I still do everything on paper when I go out there. I write on the folder. That's what I do. I write right on the folder. All my folders have tons of writing all over them because I don't want to misplace my notes. So I put them right on the folder.
So this is so important, and I'm glad it's the first thing, and it has to be the first thing. But other professions, other licensed professions, there are requirements for the kinds of things you ask and how you do investigations before you do any work for this client, or if you're a medical professional, before you do any work on the client. There is screening that is required. So this isn't required by law, but it's required to do the job correctly, to ask these questions. And so, we have them printed for you, pre-qualifying for your buyers and your sellers. And it includes everything you need, and everything on the list is required. You do need every question answered that's on those lists, and you should do it right away. Thank you.
Yep. It's a lot of times you get so excited when you get the appointment that you just want to run out there and meet with the people, but it is so much better if you take your time and do that first step.
Yeah.
Always. Okay, number 2, mail or deliver a pre-listing package. And that will be a list of personal references and a list of names and phone numbers. That's something that I have been very successful with, is giving those references. And it's always good to have that updated. Make sure you have people that have worked with you recently in that list. Also, a plan of action, which is right in your presentation, in your Moxie Present. You will have that right there. I narrow mine down quite a bit to what exactly I'm going to do. Make sure you're doing the things that you have on that list. A copy of your track record or the company's track record if you don't have a long one. A complete CMA with suggested list price. Usually that for me is going to be a price range, not just a number. because we haven't been to the house yet. So you're going to put a range there, and then when you get there, you'll let them know that you can narrow that down.
Mhm.
A complete net sheet, and everybody should be able to do that. There's so many programs. There's one right in the RMLS, but I use Chicago, the Chicago, what's it called? I just lost my train of thought of what it's called, but Chicago Agent, I think it's called.
Okay.
Type it
Yeah.
in here. Yeah, it works really easily. And then you can make sure that you have the right county in there, because that's important. Because in Washington we have excise tax, which means they're going to be paying a different amount in different areas too. And then a complete contract, of course, and then your disclosure statements as well. So that is what you send to them ahead of time. For us in Washington, we can email that to them right from our transaction desk. And so you have proof that it's gone to them, that they have those disclosures and those pamphlets that are required. And then you're going to know whether they agree with the pricing. And that's the big one, right, John?
Yeah.
You're gonna know you're gonna know what they want for a price before you even go there.
Exactly. And, take some care, take some care with the CMA. And if you're not 100% comfortable with your CMA, call your branch manager, and they'll be happy to walk you through it and make sure that you've done everything that needs to be done so that you feel confident with it. And not all CMAs are different. Cookie cutter neighborhoods are relatively easy, especially if there's been some good activity in them. That's not a hard one.
Mhm.
And you can walk into the presentation and say, well, the house 5 doors over is identical to yours and it sold for so-and-so. That's easy. Shauna, your farm, your little farm,
Yeah,
all of
that
those,
one's hard.
it's not a cookie cutter. You're not going to find an exact match to that. So it's
Yeah,
objective.
and even if you've been doing it as long as you and I, it's sometimes you just need somebody else's opinion. It doesn't, we all kind of can be not super confident in our CMAs, especially when it's not the cookie cutters. Like you said, like the one I did yesterday for the Bearway Village, that one's easy because they have exact same house that sold, or same exact everything. So just all you have to do is look at the updates in it and see which ones, and adjust for that. But it's definitely, my farm has just been a really struggle for me because there's not anything really like it for sale at that price even right now. So it feels like it should be getting more activity, but we've only had 2 showings in like 40 days. So we really had to do something. So taking your time just to do all those things and sending it ahead, you're going to know. So that helps. And then you're going to call back and confirm your appointment. And that they receive the package. Okay, because I have lost a listing before because I sent it to them, and I showed up, but they didn't even ever open it. And I didn't know that. And because I didn't realize they were interviewing a bunch of agents. They had already signed an agreement with somebody. They just wanted a second opinion, basically. And so they didn't even open my presentation, which was very disappointing. So yeah, call back and say, did you see that? And make sure all the decision makers will be there, because that's a big waste of time. Why would you go out there and present to just half of the party, right? You need everybody there.
And another thing about that is you're going to call them to see if they got it, and then you'll know any objections. Say, hi, did you get the packet? Yes, I did. And I don't like it. I don't like that price. Well, great. Now you know what you're stepping into when you walk into that house, and you say, good, price is the first thing we'll discuss when we get into the house. Or another thing is that, well, I don't like your commission. Somebody else is charging another commission, or I don't want to pay the buyers, the buyer side. Well, that's a discussion. Fine. That's the first thing we'll discuss when I get there. And they say, okay. Fine. So now you know. Now you know what you're up against. Now you know what the issues are. Makes the appointment go very smoothly because you're prepared. Okay,
So next is show up physically, emotionally, and mentally. Be prepared. It's showtime. Be early, 15 minutes early. Yeah, it should be a fun experience. So yeah, make sure you're ahead of schedule. Don't leave just in enough time to get there. Leave early because nothing is worse than being late for a listing appointment. Nothing.
nothing's worse. Be early and be in be in the mindset to present and have done a careful job on this so that you're happy to present it. You've done good work. You're very happy to present it and see how it goes. And you should be the obvious choice if you've done your homework and you understand the situation and you pre-qualified so that you won't get ambushed with something you didn't know. You don't ever let that happen to you.
Get your car washed, make sure you're wearing your best clothes,
Mhm.
look good. And that shows your people want to work with successful people.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you follow the listing scripts verbatim.
Right.
So the listing scripts don't have to be exactly Mike Berry. They could be your own scripts, but you need to have them there in front of you and go through them. It looks professional, and they're going to appreciate the time that you spend being thorough. So definitely bring those scripts. Because you don't want to get sidetracked. You want to keep, a lot of times you show up for those listing appointments and you do your presentation and you're going to be signing it. You might not even need to go through the whole presentation if they want to sign before that. I mean, you can have parts of your script that says, are you ready to sign? You can do it that way. It's you gotta develop it for your personality because I am not a hard salesman. I am very I don't know how to put it, but I am not a pushy salesperson.
Mhm.
But that's how it works for me. I know a lot of agents are really good at being more aggressive than I am. But I definitely I like to take my time and get to know the people while I'm doing my presentation.
Yeah. Yeah. And remember why you're there. You're not there to give a presentation. You're there to get a listing contract signed. And, like they say, sometimes you get there and they've already printed it and signed it. Okay. So, job done.
Yes. Yep. That's another reason why you want to set it ahead of time so that
Exactly. Yeah.
you can just show up and grab the listing and say, I'll get the photographer going,
Right. And I've seen some mistakes. Some mistakes I've seen are going to these presentations without a listing agreement that is signable. You were thinking, oh, well, everybody signs, digitally. So if they agree, I'll go home and prepare it and send it to them tonight or maybe in the morning. That's a mistake. That's salesmanship 101 mistake. Get them to sign.
You have your printed copy. But if they're there in their home, sure, you can have them sign it electronically right there in front of you,
Yeah.
but don't leave without it signed.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you think these 5 steps don't apply to you, your ego is generally in the way.
Mhm.
Yeah, that can happen.
Absolutely. Okay.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Well, let's wrap this up. And because I did just want to go through the 5. And so this blog is here that you can have a look at and review it some more. There is an audio in the training hub of this website, and the password for the training hub is North Star with a capital N. And the training hub goes over all of our training in the North Star system. And it can be found under professional basics. That's things that deal with your profession. And then there'll be the entire system there, and it'll be on tape. So think about listening to that some more and think about how you're going to present the 5-step listing presentation and get all the materials ready for that. A lot of that is, it's all in MoxieWorks, but you want to be able to have it and have it ready to go so that you can do it quickly when you do get a client. It'd be very frustrating to decide, okay, now I'm really going to dig down and do my prospecting and circle prospect before an open house. And then you do get a client and it takes you an inordinate amount of time to get ready for this 5-step listing appointment because you haven't done any preparatory work to get to that point. So that's a very good thing to do right now, if you haven't done that already, is to be able to quickly get to that presentation.
Right.
Right. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Shauna and Koen and Nick. And we'll let everybody get back to work. And we'll see you next time.
Right.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
This is our time. No, this is our century. Our gold shines bright. Because this is a network unlike any other. 135,000 affiliated agents across 84 countries and territories. In almost every Spanish-speaking country in the world. This is the most recognized name in real estate. The most respected brand in the industry. That has a nice ring to it. The leader in brand awareness 25 years in a row. This is earning accolades. More accolades. And more. Okay, that's a lot. This is making an impression. Over 27 billion of them. This is showing up big. Here, here, and all across here. Oh, and not just for clients, for the community. We're lifting up others with us. This is not resting on a legacy. This is running on it. Taking all that's been learned and seen and taught and dreamed over the past 50 years to shape and fuel the next 100. Century 21. This is our century.